Hi guys! Today we're going to look at how to add a main menu to our game. From this menu we'll be able to choose to play or exit the game. And when the player dies, we'll return to the main menu. We'll be adding the menu to the 2D top-down shooter series we've been building. You can download this project and all the others in the series by supporting us on Patreon. All the links you need can be found in the description. Okay, let's start by creating a new scene. We'll navigate to the Scenes folder in the Project panel. Then we'll right-click and create a new scene. We'll call this Main Menu. Then we'll double-click to open the scene. The first thing we'll do is add a background image. We'll navigate to the Sprites folder. Then we'll drag the background image that we've used before into the hierarchy. We'll rename this Background. Next, we'll add a canvas for the menu. We'll click the plus button on the hierarchy and select UI Canvas. To make the menu scale to different screen resolutions, we need to set the UI Scale mode to scale with screen size. Then we'll set the reference resolution to 1920 by 1080. Now, if the resolution is smaller than this, the UI will be scaled down, and if it's larger, the UI will be scaled up. The next thing we'll do is add a panel to contain the menu. We'll right-click the canvas in the hierarchy and select UI Panel. We'll name this Menu Panel. Then we'll switch to the game view to get a better view. By default, the panel is set to fill the whole screen. Let's add some margins. In the inspector, we'll set the left and right values to 500. And we'll set the top and bottom values to 250. We'll also change the colour of the panel to black. And we'll make it more transparent by setting the alpha value to 50. Next, we want to add some options to the menu. We want the options to be laid out vertically, with each option displayed below the previous one. Unity has several components to help automatically lay out UI elements. To help us create the effect we're after, we'll click the Add Component button. Then we'll search for the vertical layout group. Now any child objects we add to the panel will automatically be laid out vertically, and padding will be added to evenly fill the available space. We'll change the child alignment value to middle center to center the child objects in the panel. We can now start adding the menu options. We'll right-click on the menu panel in the hierarchy and select UI Button Text Mesh Pro. We can see the button has been added to the center of the panel. We'll name this Play Button. Next, we'll customize how this button looks. We'll set the width to 270. And we'll set the height to 100. Then we'll change some of the colours. There are different colours for the different states of the button. We'll set the normal colour to be completely transparent so there isn't any visible background. We'll leave the pressed and highlighted colours as they are. For the selected colour, we'll choose a dark grey. This colour will be used when the button is the actively selected option. We'll set the fade duration to 0 so that it transitions between these colours instantly. The final thing we need to change on the button is the text. The text is actually a child of the button. We'll expand it in the hierarchy and select the text object. We'll change the text to say Play. Then we'll set the font size to 100. And we'll change the colour to yellow. That's all the changes we'll make to the button. Next, we'll add another option to the menu. We'll right-click on the Play button in the hierarchy and select Duplicate. We'll rename this Exit button. We can see that the layout group has automatically spaced out these two buttons evenly. We'll leave most of the settings on this button the same. We'll just change the text to say Exit. Next, we need to make some changes to the event system. This was added automatically when we added the canvas and is used to facilitate interactions with the UI. Let's select it in the hierarchy. We can see this warning telling us that the component we're using makes use of the old input system. We can click this button to convert to the new input system. The other thing we can do in here is set the first selected item. We'll drag the play button into this slot. We'll also untick this checkbox to stop background clicks from deselecting the options. OK, let's press play to try this out. We can see the play button is now highlighted. We can switch between the two options by using the W and S keys or the up and down arrows, or by using the thumbstick of a controller. The next thing we need to do is take some action when one of these options is selected. To do this, we'll need to create a script. Let's stop the game and navigate to the scripts folder in the project panel. We'll click the plus button and add a new folder. We'll name this Main Menu. We'll double-click to open this folder. Then we'll click the plus button and add a new script. We'll name this Main Menu. We'll drag this script onto the menu panel in the hierarchy to assign it. Then we'll double-click to open the script in the editor. We're going to add methods in this script to handle what happens when each button is selected. Let's delete the default methods. Then we'll add a public method called play. This will be called when the play option is selected from the main menu. In here we want to load the main game scene. To do this, we need to add the Unity Engine Scene Management namespace at the top. Then in the method, we'll call Scene Manager Load Scene. We can pass the name of the scene we want to load into this method, so we'll pass in Game. Next, we'll add another public method called Exit. In here, we want to exit the game. We can do this by calling Application Quit. OK, that's it for this script. Let's save it and switch back to Unity. Now we need to wire up the buttons to the script. Let's select the play button in the hierarchy. In the inspector, we can see this On-Click section. By clicking the plus button, we can add actions we want to occur when the button is selected. We'll drag the menu panel into the object slot. Now we can choose any methods from scripts assigned to the menu panel. We'll select Main Menu Play from the drop-down. Then we'll do the same for the Exit button. We'll select it in the hierarchy. Then we'll click the plus button to add a new action. We'll drag the menu panel into the object slot again. This time we'll select Main Menu Exit from the drop-down. Now both buttons are wired up to the script. Let's press play to try this out. If we select the Exit button and press the Enter key, it should close the game down. But nothing happens. This is because we're running the game in the editor. Once we're running the built game, it will work, but we can't really test this at the moment. Let's try the play button instead. When we press the Enter key, it loads the game scene and we can play the game. We'll just get hit a few times until we run out of health. At the moment, when the player dies, we're just stuck like this. We'll change this so that we return to the main menu instead. Let's stop the game to do this. To be able to load the main menu scene, we need to add it to the build of our game. We'll select File from the main menu and then select Build Settings. Here we can see all the scenes that will be included in the game. We can add the main menu scene by clicking the Add Open Scenes button. Then we'll close this window and navigate to the Scenes folder in the project panel. We'll double-click to open the game scene. When prompted, we'll save the changes to the main menu. Then we'll click the plus button on the hierarchy and add an empty game object. We'll name this Game Manager. This object will contain the scripts we need to manage the state of the game. We'll navigate to the Game Scripts folder in the project panel. Then we'll click the plus button and add a new script. We'll name this Game Manager. You'll notice that the icon changes to a cog. That's because this is such a common script name in Unity that they gave it its own special icon. We'll drag this script onto the Game Manager in the hierarchy to assign it. Then we'll double-click to open it in the editor. We'll start by deleting the default methods. Then we'll add a public method to be called when the player dies. When the player dies, we want to wait for a period of time and then load the main menu scene. To do this, we'll add a private float field for the time to wait. We'll make this serializable so it can be set from the inspector. Then we'll add a private method called endgame. We'll call this from the onPlayerDied method, but rather than calling it directly, we'll use the invoke method. This will invoke a method after a period of time. It has parameters for the name of the method to invoke and how long to wait. We'll use nameOf to pass in the name of the method. And we'll pass in the time to wait. Now we just need to load the main menu scene in the endgame method. We'll add the Unity Engine Scene Management namespace at the top. Then in the method we'll call Scene Manager Load Scene. We'll pass in the name of the main menu scene. So now this method will be called when the player dies. After a period of time, it will call this method, which loads the main menu scene. OK, let's save this and switch back to Unity. We'll select the Game Manager in the hierarchy. Then we'll set the time to wait to 3 seconds. Next, we need to wire up the player died event to the method. We'll select the player in the hierarchy. Then we'll find the onDied event in the inspector. We'll click the plus button to add a new subscriber. We'll drag the Game Manager into the object slot. Then we'll select Game Manager onPlayerDied from the drop-down. Now our method will be called when the player dies. Let's press play to try this out. We'll take a few hits to run down the player's health. It will wait a few seconds and then send us back to the main menu. We can then select play to try again. In the next video in this series, we'll look at improving this further by having the current scene fade to black before the next scene fades in. If you want to be alerted when this one's out, then subscribe and click the bell icon. If you have any questions or feedback on this video, let us know in the comments. A big thank you to all our patrons, we really appreciate you helping to support the channel. If you'd like to help and also get access to the source code, you can find details in the description. Thanks guys!